We moved to the village because we were tired of the noise. City lights, sirens, rent. My wife, Clara, wanted space for our daughter to grow. And I just wanted quiet. The place was called Engrave Hollow. Small, remote, not on Google Maps. The real estate ad had said, uninhabited, undisturbed, undervalued. They left out unholy. We arrived late, just before dusk. The sky was heavy clouded. Not a single bird in sight. Our new home stood alone. A crumbling farmhouse with ivy crawling up its bones like veins. No neighbors. No stores. Just one road in, and none apparently out. The man who handed me the keys in town didn't make eye contact. He said, "Don't stay past the 13th night," then drove off before I could ask what the hell that meant. Clara unpacked in silence. Our daughter, Lila, sat by the window watching the trees. She whispered, "Daddy, the woods are breathing." I thought it was just wind. But that night, as we lay in bed, I heard it too. A long, low exhale, like the whole forest was sighing. And then the scratching began. Inside the walls, tiny claws, too fast for rats. By the third night, things had gotten worse. Lila couldn't sleep. She said the mirror in the hallway kept showing a woman behind her. Someone who wasn't there. I told her she was imagining things. Then I saw the woman too. Just for a second. She was standing in the corner of the bedroom. Wet dress. Mouth open. No eyes. When I turned the light on, she was gone. But the floor where she stood was damp. We found a diary under the floorboards on night 4. Old. Moldy. The name on the inside read, E. Ashcroft, 1894. The entries were barely legible, but the few lines I could read said, "They buried the first child alive, under the black tree. The sacrifice must not stop. The village is never truly empty. We should have left." On night 5, Lila woke up screaming. She said someone was under her bed. I checked. No one. But when I came back up, Lila was gone. Her window wide open. Outside, the fog had crept in thick. Too thick. I could barely see a foot ahead of me. Then, I heard her. A voice. But not hers. It was using her tone. Her lilt. Her laugh. But the words weren't right. "Daddy, come play with me, under the black tree." I followed the voice. And that was the first time I saw it. In the middle of the clearing, stood a massive, twisted oak. Its bark was black as coal, roots reaching like fingers. And around it, dolls. Hundreds of them, hanging from the branches by red thread. Some missing heads, some missing eyes. At the base of the tree, a hole, freshly dug. I didn't find Lila that night, but something followed me home. The smell of soil, the sound of whispering, the feeling of being watched. Constant, cold. I tried to tell Clara. She just stared at me, then said, "You've already buried her, haven't you? You just don't remember." That was the 6th night. The nights got worse after that. Lila's scream ripped through the mist like torn fabric. But when we rushed to her room, she was standing at the window, silent, still, her fingers twitching, pressed to the fogged glass. She wouldn't speak, not when we called her name, not even when we shook her shoulders. Just a whisper eventually. They were calling me. Her voice wasn't hers. It sounded too many, as if something else had spoken through her. We should have left that night, but something kept us, like the village had closed its hands around us, and we couldn't move. That evening we started hearing things, knocks on the door at night, but every time we opened it, no one was there, just footprints, small, bare, leading away from our home, and into the woods. I followed them once, carried a flashlight. The woods were dense, thicker than they should have been, and then I saw it, a figure, standing under the old tree at the center of the village, not moving, but humming. It stopped when I stepped closer, and vanished, like the darkness had swallowed it. But something remained, a necklace, Lila's necklace, hanging from the lowest branch. We never let Lila out of our sight after that, but it didn't matter, because something had already gotten in. She'd sit for hours, staring at the walls, murmuring names we didn't know, drawing symbols in the dust, circles, eyes, a strange triangle with a slit through it. And once, she turned to us and smiled. "Don't you hear them?" she asked. "They're not dead. They're just under the village." That's when I started looking into the village history. The locals don't talk about what happened here, but I found something in the church attic, old handwritten ledgers and baptism records, pages and pages, until the names stopped, abruptly. 1963. I flipped to the back. Only one line was written there. In what looked like blood. They buried the wrong child. That night, Lila was gone. Just gone. Window wide open. No footprints this time. Only her drawings, covering the entire living room. Symbols. Hundreds. All pointing toward one place. The abandoned well. We ran. Down the slope behind the village square. Flashlights flickering. The well was open. Rope hanging down. And from the darkness, a voice. Faint. My name is Lila. We pulled her up. But it wasn't her anymore. Her eyes were wrong. Black as oil. And in her hand was a jawbone. Not hers. Something else's. We tried to leave the next morning. But the road was gone. Not blocked. Gone. Overgrown, as if decades had passed overnight. The village church bells rang at noon. We hadn't heard them before. Inside the chapel, every pew was filled. Not with people, but with figures. Wrapped in veils. Heads bowed. Hands stitched. And at the altar, Lila stood, facing away. She turned, and every face in the room looked up. Identical. All of them. Lila, we were never supposed to find this place. But now that we have, we'll never leave. Not until they take another. And they've chosen already. I thought it was over when we pulled Lila from the well. But that night, she stood at the foot of our bed. Still. Pale. Her eyes didn't blink. Her lips moved. But the words weren't hers. They were hollow. Empty. Like something was wearing her voice like skin. I wanted to hold her. To believe it was really her. But deep down, I knew. Whatever came back, it wasn't our daughter. And it wasn't alone. If you ever find a place like Engrave Hollow, quiet, forgotten, empty, don't stay. Don't dig. And no matter what you lose, no matter how much it hurts, don't go looking in the dark. Because sometimes, what you find will wear your child's face. But it won't be her. If this story chilled you to the bone, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more dark tales that lurk in the shadows. Every week, a new secret is unearthed. And trust me, you won't want to face the next one alone. Subscribe to this channel and like as well, because some stories refuse to stay buried.